I just want to say thank you for having me. It's like a dream come true. A professional baseball player just like asked me questions. Like, that's really crazy. I remember watching you on TV, like pitching to Miguel Cabrera, and now you're asking me questions. Like, that's crazy.
Oh, and that's the at bat you bring up. I couldn't even throw the ball.
I'm sorry for bringing that one.
No, like I did a good job of blocking everybody else's name, but when he came up, I don't know what happened. The PA like was louder or something, and it said Miguel Cabrera. I was like, oh crap, Miguel Cabrera.
Watching that exact at bat, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I don't even care if he gives up a home run. This is just the coolest thing.
Hey, but I struck out Victor Martinez right after that, so it's all good.
You did do that. You did. Let's remember that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is 99 miles per hour with Perci Garner, and we'd like to thank our sponsor, Your Pizza, the finest pizza anywhere. But if you don't like pizza, which everyone does, they got wings, sandwiches, subs, and of course salads for those of you who like to be healthy, not like me. Also, I would like to mention the network that allows me to have this podcast, and that is the Get Level Podcast Network. There's plenty of other podcasts, a lot of content to get through. And also, go check out the website, getlevelpod.com. It'll be up somewhere around here. Go there, check out all the websites. You can also listen. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, you can listen audible without any interruptions. And then also, to the Rainbow Connection. I am the new executive director there, and we are having our telethon that we have every year. And we're expecting big things, even though in these tough times, we know the community can always come through. That is March 7th, that's starting at 11 a.m. And then also my scholarship fund, also trying to raise money for a Dover student in these hard times to get some help for them to attend college.
Welcome to me casa, make yourself at home, do your do. Welcome to my pad, this your lab, go create your move.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to 99 miles per hour with me, your host, Perci Garner. I just came off a very successful fundraiser for the Rainbow Connection, and I'm very excited. I'm well rested, so now I'm excited to talk to our guest we have for today. But before we get to our guest, I do want to mention today's sponsor is Peterman Plumbing, great local business here in Dover, and I'm very proud to have you on board as a sponsor. Appreciate you guys. Another one, thanks to Your Pizza for helping us out and giving us pizzas for our party for our successful fundraiser, and the wings. Wings were bomb too. So thank you, Your Pizza, another sponsor of the show. Appreciate you guys. But let's get to the guest. So today's guest is, I haven't seen him, I guess, in person in a while. And he popped up on this this Google Meet call, and I'm like, who is this person? But today's guest is accomplishing a lot of great things. I knew he was going to, even when he was a kid. Both him and his sister and their family is just, the perfect family. If you want to grow up and have a family like theirs, it's what ideal. It's the American dream. But before I get into more about that, this dude is currently at Harvard, and he's just doing big things. He's the president of a great organization that we're going to learn a little bit about here in a little bit, but he went to, he plays some sports as well. He was a little scrawny dude. No, we won't. Before I get to the biography, let's just get him in here so he can start talking. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we got Seven Richmond to the show, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming. How are you doing?
I'm a wonderful person. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to hear about the Rainbow Connection. Congratulations on that, your whole organization. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully I can learn some stuff from you today, because, you leading organizations already, and you about half my age. No.
Very blessed, man. Very blessed.
Yeah. Before we, before we talk about, BOK and all that stuff, I kind of want to just touch on, you're still a kid in college during this COVID time. You're in a great college, being Harvard. I told you I'm going to sneak over and act like I graduated there once I do my walk at Northeastern. But yes, how has that been? How has college during COVID at Harvard?
I think it's all about perspective. It's certainly not ideal, right? But at the end of the day, I have just an unbelievable opportunity to learn from my classmates who I have students my age doing incomprehensibly cool things that I just get to learn from every day. And even though I got to take classes virtually, right, I was very lucky that when I had to do it at home, I had a really safe family environment to do that in. I'm lucky that I didn't have pre-existing conditions, so I was able to study, without too much fear, around the virus. But, now being at school, actually, with the weather warming up, it's getting a little easier. The college was really strict in the beginning. Couldn't even leave your dorm room to go get food. Like, it had to be just brought to you. But nowadays, we can actually go outside, go for walks. You can't do anything too crazy. It's certainly not what we expected it, but keeping it in perspective, it's a beautiful place to be, and I'm very glad to be here.
Nice. I mean, I know in Tuscarawas County, you're allowed to dance at weddings now. I think I just heard that announcement. I was like, wait, I didn't know you couldn't do that before. What the heck? So it's things are looking up with this virus, and people are getting vaccines and stuff. And I hear that vaccines is a definitely topic of discussion in the NBA right now to make sure everybody's safe, so we won't have any issues during the playoffs. And I always look forward to NBA playoffs. But I know. A couple things about you, and it's been a while. You've grown up, you got facial hair way more than me. And I'm just like, man, so like, what do you like doing? I mean, I know you had to do something while, you're locked up in your dorm room or at home. What are some of your hobbies that you're interested in doing, you do in your free time?
Yeah. So, look, as you mentioned before, I was a basketball player, and football player back in high school, but the dream didn't pan out, so I had to go the education route. I had to fall back, but it was okay. I definitely play basketball. I play a ton of chess, actually. I play a ton of chess. I love it. I am online on chess.com all the time, just playing because chess is life and life is chess, man. No.
Wow, you might have to teach me.
It's a great way to train your brain. I do yoga every morning too. Just trying to do like those little things to keep my mind and body sharp in the quarantine.
Dang, man, I respect that, man. I need to take some notes. I wake up, get on, social media, get on YouTube, watch from First Take or whatever, and then I go about my business. But maybe I should do some things that are more productive. To be honest, so we've been playing bid euchre a lot. So Gary,
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I learned it, from your house. I learned at your house. But exactly. And my wife is obsessed now. She's like, we're playing. She's always been better at regular euchre than I am anyway. So she's very into it. And but chess, I want to kind of do that with my son. So we might have to link up. I'm sure you can. Can you link up like Call of Duty, like on chess.com, or do you have to? Or is it random?
We'll get it going.
All right. We got to look into that. Okay, awesome.
It's competitive. I get pretty competitive. My parents raised me to compete, so
I bet you and your sister. What? Your sister was amazing too, wasn't she? Like ranked nationally or something as a gymnast when she was like 5 or something.
Yeah, gymnast, man. By the time she was 12, she was already a better athlete than I'll ever be. It's just so fast. But nowadays, she's just studying. So,
well, I think you're the only one that. Everyone else in your family went to Penn, right?
Yeah, my mom, my dad, my sister, they all went to Penn, and then I went to Harvard. Yeah, and our little family group chat, it says Penn family ... and a Harvard kid. That's how I got isolated like that, man.
See what I mean about perfect family, guys? All the Ivy League schools. It's amazing. But I just, before I even get in, because I want to learn about when I asked you to be on the show, you were giving a presentation at a high school. But before I get into that, I just want to talk about like what example your parents showed me when I was young, because I think I was your age the first time I visited your house. And besides playing bid euchre, I just got to just interact with your parents and see how they parented you and Naomi, and just how so there was a thin line between demanding excellence. It seemed like they were great support, but you also knew you had to bring home them A's, or there was going to be something that was going to happen.
It was about, I think my parents did a great job of instilling in my sister and I just a champion mindset. If you're going to do something, you're going to represent this family because you belong to this family, and you have generations of people that you are representing, with that last name that you're wearing on your jersey, and even when you're in the class, right? I also too, especially in my high school days, being the only Black person in the class, there's a chip on your shoulder there.
Yeah.
There definitely is. And, my dad had that experience too when he was in school. And so he was able to like really be able to guide me in that way too. Being like, you don't see that as something that is going to hold you back. Like that's something you just rise to the challenge to. And I'm very fortunate that my parents, instilled in my sister and I that championship mindset from the start.
Yeah, no doubt. That's what's up. I mean, I know your dad was a great quarterback. Who was better, you or your dad?
Oh, my dad. I didn't even get to play quarterback. I lost the job. Like, I had to play corner because I lost the quarterback job in high school. So
I did not know that. I didn't try to lead into that. I didn't know you lost the job. Last time I talked to Gary, he was talking about how you did a great job. You had a great game. But I didn't know you lost the job.
Totally.
Yeah, I know how I feel about my old memories, so I didn't mean to bring that up. But
it's all good.
And did you go to university school?
I went to university school up in Cleveland. Yep.
Great. One of my good friends who I got drafted with me in 2010 went to university school. His name was Gauntlet Eldemeyer.
Such a university school name.
Yeah.
Such a university school name.
His middle name was Sylvester, and he was the third. And he was one of the best athletes I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, we produce them eventually. We get a few of them every year.
Yes, he was drafted, I think, 6th round by the Phillies, but man, awesome. he was special. But and he was Jamaican. But his parents still had his mom especially had the little accent left still, but. Yeah. But anyways, sorry, get a sidetrack. But talk about what were you presenting that day at high school? Because that really intrigued me. I was like, look at 7 already presenting in front of people.
So I'm actually at Harvard. So I'm the president and co-founder of a chapter at Harvard of an organization called First Generation Investors, where we provide free financial education to public high school youth, and we also provide them money to invest as they learn, because you can learn all you want about investing, but if you don't have any money to do it, it's kind of pointless. So I was really fortunate that I had really great friends at Penn who actually started this organization. They came to me and were like, "Hey, we've got this brilliant idea. We'd love for you to launch it at Harvard." And so I had a really awesome time starting that organization at Harvard. Really rewarding chances. Shout out to Aaron Jennings and Gavin Smith for being high school administrators at Fenway High School and Chelsea High School in Boston. And so I was actually presenting to those local high schools, getting the kids interested in investing, showing them kind of what we do at FGI, and also kind of giving them that incentive, like, hey, give us an hour on your Saturday to learn about investing and also get paid to do it. So.
Nice. Sounds like a good deal.
I wish I would have had that.
Yeah.
That would be great.
So what are you studying at Harvard? Does it tie into that?
I study economics. Yep.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. And I mean, both of your parents, they're in accounting. So what's Naomi study?
She was studying accounting. She hated it. So now she's studying marketing.
Nice. Okay.
Marketing and sign language. She loves sign language. She studies it all the time. It's her favorite thing. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. I might have to reach out to her to say what's up, because I didn't talk to her since she was trying to decide what college she wanted to go to. So
that's the last time you were at our house.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's talk about that. So when I was playing with the Indians, I didn't want to get a place. I didn't know how long I was going to be up there. Hopefully I was going to be up there for a while, but I didn't know how long I was going to be up there. And it was toward the end of the season. So I was like, you know what? I know a great family, I think they would love to have me. So I can't remember if I asked your mom, Amy, or your dad. I'm pretty sure I hit up Gabe and was like, hey man, is it cool if I stay there? It'd be cool y'all having a Cleveland Indians stay at your house, right?
Hey man, he was excited.
Yeah, and you guys did. You accepted me with open arms, having this, adult man move in your house.
It was great.
Yeah. It was good. It was right there. I think it was a 20-minute drive instead of an hour and 20-minute drive. Right. So I really appreciate that. You guys showed a good gesture.
Oh, no doubt. And, Perci, you're the reason why I studied so hard, man, because I would stay up so late so I could say hi to you after your baseball game. I would be grinding, studying, and I'd be like, oh, Perci's home. I could say hi to him.
I love it. I love it.
Big reason why I needed your AP stat back in the day.
Well, and I won't talk about one of my most memorable moments with you, but we used to go to your house on Christmas Eve, and this was another example that your family has set for me and my wife, because I ended up inviting her up one of the times, and you got to learn what Christmas was really about. Of course, you loved presents and stuff like that, just like every kid, but there was just an example set of, hey, you know, the real reason for this holiday is, you know, Jesus, and you got to, you know, experience what it's really about. And in most kids, I think, you know, it's just about the presents, but it was refreshing to come to your house. You know, we'd all pray and we'd eat and celebrate. And it was magical, man. And it was great. I don't want to ruin a lot if there's some I won't get into more detail about how it goes because it might ruin Christmas for some young people if they are listening. So. But no, that was just another thing you guys did for me, and I appreciate that. And you guys are just good people, and it's just good to meet good people and who people would care about stuff. But I didn't realize, you know, you would, you know, obviously I knew you'd be successful in whatever you do, but the things you're doing, I see you posting on LinkedIn, and I get very excited. I'm like, oh, look at 7, and but I guess talk about, a little bit more about what you're doing, because, you know, I would like to learn as well.
Sure. So I've really seen my impact in college. I've really tried to emphasize my impact on campus. I'm the vice president of the Harvard Black Student Association in that regard. I've tried to emphasize my impact in the Boston area, my community, through FGI and providing free financial education to local high school youth. And then at the national level, kind of at the biggest scale, is my time as being president of an organization called BLK Capital Management, which since 2017 has operated as a 100% Black-owned, student-run, long-short equity hedge fund with over $100,000 in assets under management. And thankfully, the work that this executive board put in this year, we actually received a donation from a person by the name of Henry Kravis, who is a private equity billionaire. It was really cool to have that conversation with. He invited me to have a conversation with him, and he made a donation to the organization that actually launched the BLK Foundation, which now allows us to provide, grants, non-dilutive capital, program-related investments to Black-owned businesses that need it in a way of philanthropy. So, like providing fundraising and strategy for Black business owners that have been historically barred from fundraising opportunities, and then also paying it forward to Black entrepreneurs, sort of at our level in college or just a little bit out of it, doing Black startups, to give them, some of their first money, and also like introducing them to like that next stage of funding. So it's really cool to be able to see Black people participate in the ownership economy. We have, 120 active members right now from over 75 different colleges in 36 states, the United States, Canada, England, Ghana, and Nigeria. So it's really cool to see. Yeah.
Dang. Okay. So look at you. You on the national scale, the campus scale, you got them all covered, man. I mean, how do you, manage all that? Is there, I might have to see how your planner, your daily planner, how that looks. You might have to, cause I'm a nerd with all that stuff. I'm like, cause I used to have my pencil with my iPad, and I lost my Apple Pencil, but we won't talk about that. But I just love being organized in some way, and I use something called Notion. I don't know if you've ever heard of Notion.
Our organization uses Notion.
Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna have to nerd out later.
My friend Angel's gonna be so happy you said this because he loves Notion too.
Notion. I tell everybody around here about Notion. They're just like, "What is that?" You know what I'm saying? But
I love Notion.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely have to talk about that. But okay, outside of that, I guess I'll be more specific. So, of course, how you have to balance a lot of this stuff and your own studies on top of that. And and family, and do you have any other responsibilities? You got a girlfriend or something like that?
I do have a girlfriend. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You haven't met Alexandra yet. Oh, that's too bad. But we've been dating for over a year now, Perci.
Wow! Congratulations! Look at you.
Yeah. Thank you. She studies government at Harvard as well.
Nice.
Yeah, she was in my class. She took a gap year, but caution, she's from Detroit. She is a huge Michigan fan. So but and she's actually been a huge reason why I've been able to pull all this together.
Nice. That's what's up. Okay, go ahead, Alexandra. Okay. Now when we talk about the holistic, everything you're doing, which is great. Now you have to have some form of organization and some form of routine that keeps you in sync. And when it comes to leadership, because I know me, I've been pushing a lot of accidental leadership. I never was like, I'm gonna lead this thing, but now I'm forced to do that. But with you and leading a lot of these organizations, like what is your, how do I say this? What is like your go-to on just keeping everything in order? Just how do you do that?
Yeah, so I GCal every minute of my day. My sister does this too. She's actually better at this than I am. But I'm very consistent about having a very specific routine. so that I'm like keeping track of my mental health as I'm going through all of it, right? So I wake up at 7:30 every weekday, and I pray immediately after I wake up, and after that prayer, I just go straight into yoga. Like, and that is always how I start my day, no matter what, like regardless, because it's just about waking up and like centering yourself, because with all that going on, you can get max stress sometimes. My bishop said that.
Yes.
You can get max stress where like you don't even want to face the day because you got so much going on. But if you have like a real morning routine that you can look forward to, it just makes it easier to start your day off. And then after that, usually I handle my business, like I have classes and stuff in between then. And then every day at 3 p.m., like regardless, I take a nap. Like,
okay.
I actually budget it in my calendar that says like busy. I don't let anyone schedule a meeting there, but I take a nap from usually 3 to 3:30, sometimes 4, depending if I can get it there. But I always take a nap. And then usually I try to schedule out like all the time where I'm going to work on this, I'm going to work on that. Usually it's class in the afternoon. And then by 9 p.m. I shut down. Like I absolutely stop everything I'm doing at 9 p.m. I pray again. I take a shower. Like I brush my teeth. I take my contacts out. Like everything's just done by 9 p.m. And then if I've got to tie the loose ends or play some chess or like just do little things at night. And then, by 11:30, Alexander lets me go to bed. Then I get to go to sleep. But then I try to structure every day like that so that I can always stay on a pretty consistent routine and just have little things in my day that I know aren't going anywhere.
Yeah. See, and that sounds like everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that'd be amazing." And I've done that. But you still need the discipline to actually follow the calendar like that. Because my wife was making fun of me. She was like, what's this me time on the calendar? I was like, oh, I spelled that wrong. I meant, me and wife time. I'm sorry. But that's amazing, man. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to go further into, because, I don't know, this is going to be out of left field. Do you know the YouTuber named Ali? I forget how to say his last name. He's a doctor in college, and he's big on Notion, big on Apple products. No?
You didn't specify very much. I don't know, man.
Well, we're gonna have to talk about him later because he has a lot of stuff, and you probably already know who he is. But yeah, my explanation was not very good. But I had visions to being the next MKBHD for a while. Do you know who that is at least?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is like my my way into getting, and it's actually because of Josh. I want to make YouTube videos. I thought I wanted to like review technology, and I just never did it. It's the thing is, you got to start, and if you don't, then obviously you're never going to accomplish anything. And it looks like you've done that in your life so far. I can't imagine being your age and just doing everything that you're doing, man. It's amazing. But this next question, I probably already know the answer to, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So we kind of got into it earlier, but maybe if you can talk about like some of your influences that has influenced your life outside of Gabe and Amy, your parents. Yeah. So share it with us.
Oh, the first person's got to be my grandmother. Marjorie. I mean, like without a doubt. People don't really understand just how important like she's been in my life. Because my mom had to work so much, right? And my dad teaching as well. Like when he started teaching, like I spent pretty much all my like time being raised by my grandmother, like a lot of time being raised by my grandmother. And she was also too like helping out to pick Naomi and I up. We were going to gymnastics and football and all that. And like she's a huge number one like inspiration, considering like raising 7 Black kids by yourself.
Yes.
And my dad being the youngest of those 7 and giving me the name 7. That in itself, like that chip on my shoulder already. But her example too, how she's just able to love when things don't go right, like to be able to like see her kindness, her forgiveness. It's an excellent example that I strive to follow. It would be remiss to not say her first. And then after that, I mean, my uncles and aunts, all my dad's siblings who, even though my dad was the youngest and got babied and got treated all nice, they could have bullied me for that, but they decided not to. And my Uncle Gary that Uncle Tony, I haven't really met my Uncle Steve very much, but shout out Uncle Steve. Aunt Natalie, Aunt Des, everyone, Uncle Chris and Kate, and Aunt Karen, and all their spouses too.
That's crazy. You got a lot of great aunt and uncles, man.
A lot of great aunts and uncles. I listen to them, oh my gosh, they're all these great people. I mean, you've met them too. They're all from Dover, all from New. and those roots stay strong. You don't forget those Ohio roots where you got nothing to do but work hard. So, those people, they really ingrained it in me, and I'm very thankful for them.
Yeah, that's what's up. I like that. You said in Ohio, you got nothing to do but work hard. I love it. But hey, man, before we wrap up, because after you just talked about your schedule and stuff, I started thinking like, all right, I don't want to take too much of his time. Well, we're scheduled in, but just, is there any other ways, that you're involved in your community? Are you involved in the Ohio, Cleveland area community at all, or is it mainly where you're at right now in the Boston area? Because I know that could be a challenge. When I was getting, and I don't know if I should say this or not, but when I was getting looked at in the draft by the Red Sox were looking to draft me in the first round in 2010, and I did a 2.5-hour interview with them in my car. And I was sitting in my car doing the interview, and one of the questions they asked, how would you be, Boston is predominantly white area, and, there's some history there. And, would you be comfortable in that area, playing for the Boston Red Sox one day? And that was a question. I was like, I wasn't expecting that, but I was like, look, I went to Dover High School. I was surrounded by white people. I'll be all right. but how do you being in Boston, and being a part of these organizations, that support Black owned, and also just other ways that you're looking out for Black students and helping them out, Black entrepreneurs. Is there a challenge there that you have to overcome, or what's that like?
Well, you don't become friends with people by not going through challenges together, right? Like that's something sports taught me. And those challenges that exist, like those are the things that just bring me closer. With my Black group, I've got an excellent support group of, my Black group of Black men that are just like really, really motivated and driven. That really inspire me to pursue excellence every day. And so like when I see them, giving back to their communities, like from Mississippi, from Louisiana, one of my friends from Boston too. They make it so that like I can't give up if they're not going to give up, and then just more generally too, in the whole Black Harvard community, to be welcomed with open arms and like say like, hey, like, we're all in this together. And like we're going to inspire each other and have one another's back. To be accepted like that. And it's those challenges that actually bring you closer together, because when you overcome things together, that's actually what really forges those bonds for real. And so I'm actually thankful. I'm not thankful for like racism or whatever, but in a way, I'm very thankful for the challenges that are set before me, because that actually provides the opportunity like for diamonds to be built from that pressure,
Yeah, I like
there are things to really be thankful for, even when things are pretty awful. That's something I've learned from my grandmother, and I really try to continue with me here.
Yeah, and also, Marge just made this best. I was on a low carb diet, so she made this special chili for me.
She got you? Okay, good.
And oh my gosh, I was like, look, Gary, you can have a bowl. I was like, Chris, you can have a bowl. After that, this is mine for the whole week. I'm just gonna eat this every day.
You can't take from Gary too much, man. You can't take too much from Gary like that.
But also, I guess what, like, obviously you're doing a lot of stuff now, but just where do you what's your career goals? I know that's a super general term, but where do you see yourself? Or because the next question, I don't want to go into that, the legacy question, but where do you what are your career goals, I guess?
Yeah, I have some great examples in Ruth Okediji, who's a professor at Harvard Law School, who sets the example as like what it means to preserve your faith and be faithful in whatever you're doing, and to really put God first in everything you're doing, to be good and do right, and just let everything else be details. And so as I think about my career, I just want to be known as someone who just did the right thing and let everything else kind of fall into place. To that extent, right, it takes some hard work and it takes attention to detail, right? But if your heart's in the right place, there's really no reason why I should be scared or afraid of doing the right thing, because I know the kind of support that I have, from being back home, in Ohio, and the support I've gotten at Harvard. There's no reason why I should be afraid to do the right thing with what I've got And so I'm going to continue doing what's best for my faith, my tradition, and my people, and the rest will follow, honestly.
That's the funny thing about that is I was listening to it's old. I think it's 1 or 2 years old. It's Robert Downey Jr. on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he literally is talking. He's basically saying the same thing as you, but a different way. He was just saying they were just talking about how a lot of it is just getting out of your own way, and then the fear is the biggest block, and that messed with me a lot, especially when I was up in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Getting out of your own way is huge, and I feel like it's one major thing. If obviously everyone's gonna focus on doing the right thing, and obviously what work that has to be done, just doing that work, and the rest of it is just not being a head case and thinking, okay, what if I do this and what if I do that? Get the what if out of there, get the fear out of there, because fear is what you created, and it's once you get that out of the way, the rest kind of just takes care of itself. And I like the way you worded that. That was what's up.
You can't do everything, man. You can't do everything. You really just can't.
Says the guy with running 3 organizations. No, but yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of did answer the legacy. What do you want to leave behind? You just, I mean, you basically said it with, you just want to be known as someone that's done the right thing, and you don't want someone like, oh, that 7 guy, he really didn't accomplish much. He had all the talent in the world, but he didn't really do anything with it.
I don't want to be known as that. I don't want to be tall for. I'm already tall for nothing on the basketball court. I don't want that to happen to me in real life.
Wait, I might have to see. How tall are you right now?
6'4", man.
Oh my gosh! No way.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Oh,
I'm catching up to you, man.
You're taller than me now. I'm 6'3". You taller than me now, man. I still got you by 100 pounds, probably though.
I'm like 6'4", 170. That's my problem.
Yeah, I'm really close to having you by 100 pounds. But I'm losing. We going to vacation in July. I need to wear my swim. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I need to get my yoga on, my core working, my back's hurting. My telethon, I was standing for 3.5 hours, and my lower back was hurting, and I was like, I'm getting old out here.
The standing desk. I'm trying to get people on this. The standing desk is the new thing.
I do need to do that. Well, we're a nonprofit that doesn't spend any money, so I'm gonna have to use my own funds to do that. Wow. But hey, 7, man, I appreciate having you on the show, man. You shared a lot of good information, and you're authentic, man. I love it. And man, it's just like I said, we're gonna have to nerd out on this Notion stuff, because I know you guys are doing stuff that I'm not. And I go down the rabbit hole sometimes you got to see my habit tracker I got going on here. It's crazy. Anyways, we'll do that off air. I appreciate having you, man. And is there anything else you want to share or say?
I just want to say thank you for having me. It's like a dream come true. A professional baseball player just asked me questions. That's really crazy. I remember watching you on TV, pitching to Miguel Cabrera, and now you're asking me questions. That's crazy.
Oh, and that's the at-bat you bring up. I couldn't even throw the ball.
I'm sorry for bringing that one.
No, I did a good job of blocking everybody else's name, but when he came up, I don't know what happened. The PA was louder or something, and it said Miguel Cabrera. I was like, oh crap, Miguel Cabrera.
Watching that exact at bat. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I don't even care if he gives up a home run. This is just the coolest thing.
Hey, but I struck out Victor Martinez right after that, so it's all good.
You did do that. You did. Let's remember that one.
But yes, exactly. But anyways, I'll let you go, man. You got a lot going on. I appreciate you stopping by, and we're gonna have to link up after the show, or down the road, or on the weekend, and talk about Notion. Is that something you want to do on the weekend?
My good. Well, hey, if that's what you want, man, I'm here for you. If you want to come all the way to see me at Harvard and talk about Notion, I guess that's pretty suitable. But
that's what. Hey, when I have to do when I'm walking and graduating from Northeastern, that's when we'll link up. What are you about to graduate actually? I'm
a junior, so I got another year.
Oh, good.
I got 1 year to college. I got 1 year to salvage something out of college.
Okay. That's what's up. Well, I'm sure I'll see you. I'll be hitting you up, and appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. And man, it's good to be back. I took a week off, but we'll see you next Tuesday. Peace. It feels like Casablanca. Shouting, you my little